Hey, what is going on, guys? Well, it looks like Project Era may be coming back. However, this is quite strange, as although Project Era doesn't exist by name in the present day, Project Flux basically is Project Era. So in today's video, we'll talk about what we know officially, some rumors I've heard, and possible things that could come out of this, and then finally we'll talk about the effect I think it will have on Era/Flux, but it will be based off of limited information, so there will be quite a bit of guesswork here. Okay, let's start out with what we know officially. To be honest, we don't know much, but what spawned this conversation is that a bit under 24 hours before this video is released, in the Project Flux news tab, there was an announcement posted just stating this: the return, ... keep an eye out, and then a link to the older Project Era Discord. This is the Discord you may remember from 2023, early 2024. This server peaked at around 800,000 members. However, there was a purge, if I recall correctly, so that dropped it to around 450,000. Right now it has 344,000, which obviously is less than half of the peak, but that's almost 10 times the amount that the Flux Discord has, so it's still a massive server in comparison. Previously, all the older Era Discords were all pointing to the new Flux Discord, but this is the first time in a long time, any of the related Discords are pointing back to that old Era server. So it is interesting, but that's really all we know officially. So possible rumors I've heard is that there may be the return of old developers and staff. Although some people from old Era did eventually make it to Flux, there were losses along the way. You have to remember that there was an Era beta test in the summer of last year where there was a good amount of people from old Era that migrated to that beta test. But then that beta test closed down, and then Flux came about a few months later. There was more losses when that transition happened. So now, looking at Flux Discord, there are still some old people, but a lot of them are missing. So it's possible that some of them may come back, but we can't say that for sure. And it may be possible that some older social media accounts could be returning. However, it seems like there's some issues there, so we really don't know for sure at this time. Honestly, there's a lot of rumors floating around. It's going to be very hard to verify them at this point in time. So I just want to talk about what I think the effect will be on Era/Flux. And again, I'm going to have to make a lot of guesswork here. We don't know much. Functionally, in the short term, I can't imagine gameplay is going to change all that much besides the launch of Season 5. Because Flux functionally is almost identical to Era. You know, the logos have been changed around. But if you look at it, the launcher is designed very similar. The gameplay is very similar. Overall, can't say there's going to be a huge change in the short term. However, one thing that could change that's not directly related to the game itself is that it may boost player counts. Because I still think a problem is a lot of people just straight up don't know what Flux is. I mean, the server is much smaller. It never grew back to the old size. And I still see people talking about what on earth is Flux? Where did Era go, right? So if they go back to the old branding of Era, it may make promoting it a bit easier and more people will be aware of it. In addition to this, if it does become true that some of the old developers, old server managers come back, content might come faster, but that's really unclear. It's hard to say. We need to get more confirmation if that's actually true, but that could possibly accelerate the content speed, but we'll have to wait and see. So really, that's all I can say at this point in time. I can speculate more, but it's just very hard to tell with this level of information. But if you guys are interested, I can keep updating you as we learn more and really see what comes out of this. But that's what I've got today. So I hope you found this video interesting, and I'll catch you in the next one.